My name is Adam and welcome back to my channel where I make a tabletop role-playing game from scratch on camera. And in this episode I will start designing a workshop that makes portals and make something that you can't replicate in video games. Before we start today's episode, I just want to remind you of the 96 likes. Before I started this project with Explorers RPG, I've been using this book to just note down different stuff that is role-playing related. And I think this will be fun and interesting for world builders, role players, and, well, anyone. So 96 likes and I will make a video where I go through the 96 pages that I have here. And while you're down there, please press the subscribe button, but let's go on to the video. I've been thinking about arch keys lately. It just has so many uses. For those that didn't see episode 27, the arch key is a magical gem that you place under specific arches that have an indent that fits the gem and some runes and stuff. I don't want to be specific about it. Anyways, when you insert the gem into the indent, a portal to the Barsock opens up under the arch. I showed 2 episodes ago that you could use this as a holding cell in the dungeon, but there are so many more uses for it. And these are the reasons why. 1. If there's no key, there's no door. Since these are portals we're talking about, there's no way to get to the other dimension unless the portal is open. Like in the dungeon, you can't enter or exit a holding cell unless you use the key. You can't smash open a door, you can't lockpick it because it's not there. This is very useful for holding cells because you can't escape, but it's also very useful for vaults, so bankers and merchants can use this for treasuries or storing valuable goods. Number 2, the arch can be hidden. It doesn't necessarily need to be an arch, it could be a wall as long as it has an indent and the runes. And these hidden portals can be used by the servants at the castle to enter and exit hidden passageways, not to bother the nobles. Or it can be used to hide weapons around the castle so that soldiers can easily resupply. Thirdly, the Barsock can lead to anywhere in the castle. So you could have secret passageways that lead soldiers to ambush intruders. You can even open smaller arrow slits that can open and close from inside the Barsock. And that means that the soldiers don't have to be in a defensible place such as behind cover. You can stand, open a tiny portal in the Barsock that pops up anywhere in the overworld, shoot some arrows, close the portal, and be completely safe. The point is that there should be multiple keys. One for the dungeon, one for the barracks, one for the keep, etc. Multiple keys scattered around for players to find, each of them having different shapes and sizes so they only fit in specific arches, or it doesn't have to be arches anymore. Now, we can do better than having keys scattered around. This is a tabletop role-playing game, after all. What if the players want to alter keys? I mean, you can do that with regular keys. File them down, copy them, use them for completely different doors. Where would you create or alter arch keys? Well, at the Crystal Workshop, of course. So I imagine that the Crystal Workshop is a place where they process crystals and make them into gemstones. Now, I'm not a geologist, but I know that gemstones and crystals are not the same, or, well, Not all gemstones are crystals and not all crystals are gemstones, but I don't know much more than that. Anyway, the castle imports some specific magical crystals that in the raw form doesn't do much. But after filing them down and cutting them in specific shapes, the magical energies get somehow focused. Some make smaller portals, some make large ones, and some make many ones. Something like pointy shapes gives a focused direction, flat shapes are more controllable. I don't know, this is too technical for the game, but you can come up with something to this if you want to contribute something to my projects. I would gladly share it here to show off what, well, you want to contribute with. So the castle gets these magical crystals, and I found a crystal that looks like it's fake, but this is the dragon scale calcite, and they can only be found in the Sweetwater mine in Reynolds, Missouri. The crystal is actually multiple calcites that are grown over each other, and each of these scales is one calcite crystal. And this is what I'm using as inspiration for my magical portal crystals. One thing that is important to remember when developing an adventure and in world building in general is that less is more. You don't need to explain what this crystal does, how it's formed, or where it comes from. It's a crystal. If you cut it, it will make you a portal, and the quality and type of cut determines how the portal works. That's all I need to know to continue this. If players ask what shape or size it is, then the GM is free to come up with whatever they want and customize the experience for the players. What I think is important is how to handle this mechanically. How can the players use the workshop to alter and make keys, and how hard is it to do it? I want the result of the keys to depend on the state of the workshop. Remember, this is a dilapidated workshop that had all the tools you needed, but you need to restore the workshop in order to be able to create something. I'm going to post a draft of the rules at some point, but it's not quite ready yet. But basically, the workshop itself will have an attribute die. So a die from D4 to D12, depending on the state of the workshop. When the players first enter, they can't do anything. When they fix it up a little bit, they get a D4, and when they fully restore it, it becomes a D12. When the players want to do something with the crystal, they roll an attribute roll using the workshop's attribute die and their crafting skill die, and see what the result is. You start out with a list of things that you can do and their difficulties, like repairing an arch frame is a difficulty of 4, while copying an arch key is a difficulty of 8. I've started on a list of different crafting recipes that the players can take, and hopefully use that as a guide for them to be creative around modifying and creating arch keys. If you're interested, you can check out the link in the description and follow me on itch and get a notification when I come with an update on the rules. And I think that's it for this episode. A draft of a brand new mechanic for crafting arch keys, which will in turn increase the maneuverability of the players. And in the next episode, I will finish the design of the workshop and maybe work out some more interesting features and secrets about it. See you then. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Oh my god.